Trial of Saddam Hussein against Saddam Hussein and 7 co-defendants. Let's listen in to witness, the first witness, Ali Hassan Mohammed al-Haidari, as his testimony continues.
This is the time for prayer. We pray and then we can do. After he finishes, you can get time to pray. Your Honor, the statement will be long, so can we pray now? No, we will give you time to pray. Continue with your statement. The military people left. They used to go to jail and the desert, so they will bring some food and some clothes. I haven't talked to you about the clothing. It's shameful. Also, God is my witness. I promised myself not to mention this, but because I swore, I have to tell you this without any without being shy. In the intelligence, they used to tell us, if you don't confess to the crimes, somebody will rape you, and they used to make us take all our clothes off. But I did not hear about any rape in the prison. Also, we had women that suffer from dislocation in the shoulder and torture. I have 2 or 3 of Your Honor. Let him stay within his own testimony. I'm talking about what I saw in the desert after the military people left. I told you the situation left because the military people used to bring food from the jail to the desert. That was allowed, that was permitted. In Samawa desert, people died because of starvation and lack of medicine and the inhumane treatment. Amongst those who died in Samawa, I remember the child Naif Asad Ali Asad. He was born in the prison in Abu Ghraib, and he died in the desert. After a year, he died before our eyes, and he was buried in Psaya. His father buried him, and those also, my father was present during the burial. So because he was 1 year and he was buried there in the desert. And also those who died in the prison, Haj Hamid Mahdi Al-Khazali and Sajuda Muhammad Sahaw Al-Hayani. She is my cousin's wife. And also Al-Haj Sabri Asad Abdullah Al-Haidari. He died. He's my father's cousin. And the Haj Abdul Wahab Ja'far Al-Ubaidi, and his wife, the late Haja Sabriya Abbas Ahmed Al-Ubaidi, and also died in the prison Haj Yasin Hassan Al-Hattaw, and also the late Nofa Hassan Agha. They all died in the desert. And also what was practiced in the desert, one day the donations for the Qadisiyya Saddam, asking for donations, but the money was taken by force. Our ladies had their gold. When they returned the belongings, they returned the women. This committee came to the desert, and they took everything under the pretext of the donations in the name of This is one of my sisters, Saad. They forcefully took 2 bracelets, golden bracelets. This is the receipt. We have the original copy. And also amongst those who donated, who had money, they took 100 dinars from her. Farida Hassan Amin Al-Khurbatli. These are money that was taken by force under the pretext of donation. As for the treatment, we stayed in the desert, subjected to that treatment as I mentioned, until the year, on the 22nd of April 1986. An order came to release us from the prison. We did not believe that. I'd like to say that my niece, the daughter of my brother, who was hit and arrested with her grandmother from Balad, she was arrested by Abdullah Kazim Ruwaid. She came asking for refuge, but in the Arab culture, a refugee should be protected. She came to him and asked him to protect her because the family of the daughter was arrested. After a few minutes, she was arrested, and he told her, and God is my witness, I heard that from this grandmother. He told her verbatim, all of her family were arrested. Why is she out? He told her, we don't like sectarianism. In the jail there were families that Sunnis and Shia that were intermarried. Yes, it is related to it's in the scope, but so that people don't think that I'm talking out of sectarianism. There were Shia and Sunnis that were intermarriage between them. I have nothing against Abdullah Ruwaid. I have no blood revenge or anything, but the woman came to him to ask for protection, but he told she told her my father in the desert. He told her, he said, we will not leave any Shia on the jail. That means that they were involved in mass killing of the Shia of the jail. I'm not afraid. When I came and I swore, I'm not afraid of anybody except God. And you hear that. Go ahead, continue. This woman was... Your Honor, allow me. Your Honor, allow me. When I say... Why would I say Muzhir? Well, I swore to tell the truth, so I'm telling the truth. In the desert, that woman had a stroke, and after we were released, she died. She passed away. We were released on the 22nd of April 1986. Myself and the other members of my family that were present in the desert. We had seven. I don't know those who were in Abu Ghraib or in intelligence. When we were released in 1986, we found out that the city had changed. God is my witness. We couldn't identify our house. It was at the side of a farm. The farm was inside the city. orange and trees. The city changed completely. The brothers told us that the farms were plowed by Taha Yassin Ramadan. A few months after the arrest, he brought the bulldozers, and the driver of the bulldozers were mostly Kurds. They were protected by the popular army, and the place until now is there, and most of the people of Dujil and the Baathists of Dujil, they all know that they all saw that Taha Yassin Ramadan was present plowing the farms, and he met with he told everybody, he told them that you should plow so that the people don't come. How do you know that people told me? Who told you? It was everybody was in the society, but maybe they can come and they can be witness. Yes, go ahead. So he plowed all the farms, and when I say all of the farms, it's more than 25,000 acres or so. They were taken. Also, Balad's farms were removed. I say Saddam was hit in the jail. Maybe he needs to punish in the jail. What's the guilt of Balad to also be arrested? Well, stay within the scope. Talk about yourself. Don't talk about others. I'm talking about the Balad's plowing. That's created an emotional barrier between the Balad and the jail. The Balad people always blame the Dujil people for the plowing of there, but they know that it is a mass murder. In the desert, I did not mention that there was a place called Abul Jid, about far from Leia, about 7 kilometers away from Leia. One of the guards was sympathetic to us, and he said, I'm afraid that something will happen to you like what happened to the Kurds in Abu Jaid. He said that people alive were buried alive in that section, and during that time we're in the desert. We're afraid that someday they will dig a hole and you'll see your brother or father or wife to be buried alive in those holes. Those who plowed the farms, it was Taha Yassin Ramadan. I think at that time it was the order of the president of Iraq who was present. He is responsible for everything. How many brothers? Seven were executed. Your Honor, after this, after we were released and I saw those farms plowed, the treatment was even harsher. After a few months, we had in the farm two houses that were demolished, so we lived in the house in the city. It was all robbed. All the money and the belongings were stolen. We were the responsibility of the government, and they should shoulder that responsibility. We returned to our house. We stayed about, after we were released from the prison, I was taken to the military on the 8th, and my brother in the 5th month to the compulsory military service, because you cannot go back to school. We were not allowed to go back to school. In one of the vacations, I found out that my family left the house because I asked, and they said that the government was taking the house So we left in a rental house for about 2 years. We stayed in a rental house. And the security forces were always after us. They were persistently after us. Every few days they will take my father for information. They would ask questions: how many were imprisoned, how many women, and so on. It was a lot of injustice. Who are you filing a complaint against? About all. Do you know all of those defendants here? Do you tell me? Do you honor what I saw in my eyes? Have you seen those defendants before? Do you know them before? What's your relationship to them? Yes. I have Muhammad Azzawi. Mazhar, I know Mazhar. Mirzal, I don't know. Saddam, I saw him one time in person. Do you have any relationship to them? I don't. Only know them. Yes, Your Honor. Tell him that we'll give him time to tell him. I also, after I left the prison, I saw that our houses were stolen, and I have a witness. He did not. You did not. My brother's Muhammad Hassan Muhammad. He was executed. His name is in the case, in the indictment. Faleh Hassan Muhammad. Salim Hassan Muhammad. Saad Hassan Muhammad. Hussein Hassan Muhammad. محسن حسن محمد. محمود حسن محمد. Did you receive the bodies or not? During that time, Your Honor, that we were under the reign of Saddam, we did not know. No, we did not receive the bodies. And we don't know where they're buried until now. But because of there was a governor of the Dujil, and my sister-in-law asked where my brother was. He said he executed. Also during that time, maybe after in 99 or 98, the families that were imprisoned had started to file paperwork and ask for a death certificate, for example. So, do you have death certificates? No, I did not get any death certificate, but I have a death certificate for two. No, we're asking about your brothers. No. How old were they? Your brothers? Mahmoud was 14 years. Muhsin was about 17 years at the time of arrest. Hussein was born 63. Saad about 55, was born in 1955. Salim maybe 49, 50. He was born about 49, 50. Muhammad, he was born in 1943. They were all my brothers. Do you have anything else? Yes, Your Honor. I have a witness. He is one of the people who were part of the party. He was a guard in the party headquarters. He saw by with his own eyes what the tortures and everything. And I will give you the name of that witness, Your Honor. I'll give you the name of the. He saw in person. He saw. What's his name? He doesn't want to. He may want to tell you that he wants to be non-public, but that's up to him. Also, Your Honor, in the jail, there were two mosques. One is for the Sunnah, and one is for the Shia. About 50 meters away from my house, that mosque was demolished. And up till now, you can see that was demolished, and most of those who used to frequent that mosque, from those who were imprisoned, were executed. I also talk about the Baathists stealing our houses, and I have witnesses who stole Hassan Umran by the testimony of Muhammad Azzawi, and I think he can tell you that he stole and robbed the house. This is Muhammad knows. Talk to. No, you don't ask the defendant. Don't ask anybody. No. What? Mr. Ali, don't ask the defendants. You don't have the right to ask anybody. Your talk is with the court, not with the defendants. Hassan Umran, he is the partner of my brother. He robbed the house of Muhammad. I think that I think Muhammad Azzawi would witness to that. Yes, we got the point. It's documented. The births in the prison, the baby would be wrapped with a paper instead of a cloth or cloth. The death certificates, Your Honor, amongst those who were martyred, this was given. You presented to the. This is the original, and the copy. They need the original, but you can take the copy. We will certify that the copy is true.
As we watch the proceedings of the resumption of the trial against Saddam Hussein and 7 co-defendants, we're watching it with Mark Ellis, who's with the International Bar Association. He has a quick point that he wants to make about the judge and the handling of this particular day of testimony. Mark, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, and I've said this before, and I said it earlier, about the fact that under the rules of procedure and evidence, a defendant cannot directly ask a question or speak to a witness. And